I am here with some amazing young ladies, and we are all on our way to excellent health. And you know, what we want to share with you is our testimonies about how Korean herbs have helped us in various ways. I first heard about these herbs through my friend Sherry. Hadn't seen her in 20 years. We got back together because of our friends, and I went to a cookout at her home, and she was telling me about how her mother had cancer. It was in remission, and then how it came back very aggressively. Now, the symptoms she was telling me about with her mother were really, really horrible for the most part. She was telling me that her mother was, her eyes were rolling back in her head, she lost her appetite, sometimes she was passing out, and a lot of other things. But yet, I'm looking at this woman sitting next to me, laughing and talking and getting around and eating. Her skin looked beautiful. So you could never tell that she had this cancer and that it was ravaging her body. You couldn't tell. So Sherry also let me know that these Korean herbs, hemohem, do a number of things. They also help people that have diabetes, insomnia, anemia, and a list of other things. But what caught my attention was when she mentioned diabetes. Because the doctors tried to tell me, first I was pre-diabetic, then they said I had diabetes, and I was really against taking insulin and metformin and things like that because I saw what it did to my mother. So I had always treated this issue with natural products. Was not quite satisfied with everything, but you know, I was still doing it. I changed my diet some. Sometimes I cheated. But when Sherry told me about the hemohem products, I started taking them. And I didn't notice anything right away. I was taking 2 doses, then I bumped it up to 3. When I would sleep at night, I like to sleep with my head on my arms folded, but I would notice that at night, sometimes I would wake up with tingling in my fingers, or they were numb, so I would have to bring my arms back down. So I had to be careful of the way I slept because the circulation was not going as normal. But then I noticed that after taking the hemohem, I think I was taking it for about 2 months or 3 months at the time, I didn't even realize it, that I was sleeping in any position that I wanted to. So that means that the hemohem was dealing with my circulation. It was dealing with the way my blood circulated throughout my body. And I wanted to understand how this worked. So I went to Kim and she explained to me that it kind of works like Drano. When you have a clogged drain and you pour Drano in it and it fizzes to unblock the clog so the water can flow freely. So this is the same thing that the hemohem was doing in my system, in my veins, in my arteries. It was unclogging because when people have blood sugar issues, their blood gets kind of sticky so it doesn't flow like it normally would. So, you know, that was a blessing to me to understand and to see that the product works. It works amazing. And also I noticed that my hair is getting black. You know, and that's another benefit with the hemohem. And you know, I have just been amazed by my progress using the herb and other testimonies that I have also heard about diabetes with these herbs. And you know, I thank God because it was an answer to prayer, and I pray that my testimony to you, which is true, is a blessing and helps someone out.
My name is Sherry. I want to thank God for wisdom. Helping me out with my mom's sickness. Been knowing my friend Kim from Korea. She was telling me about her herbs and how it gets out cancer, which my mom has been suffering with for 5 years. And she's been on chemo, I'm going to say remission, like every other year, or every year they would have to give her more chemo. But when it got to the 5th year, her cancer got very, very aggressive. So I was praying for an answer. And while I was at work at Target, my friend Kim calls me. She says, Sherry, I know someone that has no cancer in his body from taking the hemohem for 3 years. It was rapidly going through his body. The doctor gave him about maybe a month to live, not too much longer. And his wife never took hemohem but decided to try it on her husband because he was dying. And when she gave it to him, the more she gave him, the faster it came out his body. She gave him 10 for 1 year, and she gave him 6 for 2 years. And within the 3 years that he was taking it, he was cancer free. So my mom was like really doing bad. And when she told me that, I just decided to immediately use it on my mom because I just didn't want to see her, I didn't want to see her dying of cancer. I don't want to see her, laying in the casket unrecognizable, anything like that. So it started in her lymph nodes, and it traveled, when it got to the 5th year, it traveled through her lymph nodes. It started in her uterus. It started to travel through the lymph nodes and the lungs aggressively. And they gave her, started to give her aggressive chemo, which was taking pretty much the life out of her. So I'm like this, either the cancer's going to take her or the chemo's going to take her because she had no more life in her body. So I wouldn't give her less than 6 a day. The most I gave her was 10. One day I gave her 12. I want her to see this. One day I gave her 12. She goes, Sherry, when I went to the doctor, they said my potassium was kind of high. Was that hemohim? I said, I don't know. I just left it like that. But it probably was that. But not to worry, it will come back down. My mom's a diabetic. She has high blood pressure. She has had a stroke. She's had, a lot going on, in her elderly age. She's 74 now. So while I was giving her 6, I noticed that her hair was growing back within that month. Her hair started growing back. I also noticed when I gave her 10, the day before she had to go to the doctor to get her white blood cell, to get the shot to build up her white blood cells was already built up. She didn't have to get the shot. Also noticed that she had an appetite. And she was, even though she was going through all the pain, she was still suffering, but I believe that the hemohim was protecting her body from falling and was protecting it from getting worse. So I have to say, when I started giving it to her in September of 2016, she had to go back to the doctor in December of 2016 to see where the cancer was, and they said the cancer was just a speck left, and they said that the speck she could live with those specks for years. And I have to say, I was very happy. I was smiling, and I just looked at it as God answering prayers, for what was going on in my mom's body. The other thing is, I have a girlfriend. Her name is Tally. Her mother was having liver problems. She was taking something for her kidneys, and it started to, whatever the medication the doctor was giving her to take care of her kidneys was affecting her liver. So she was calling her family together to tell them the bad news about what was going on with her. And she said, Sherry, remember you telling me about the milk thistle from the website? She said, can I get a bottle because my mom, something's going on with her liver. So anyway, when she started giving it to her mom, I say her mom probably took 1 bottle. When it was time for her to go back for her visit, the doctors wanted to know what she did because there was nothing wrong with her liver or her kidneys. The other thing, there was a man that, my husband was in, was sick, and he was in the same hospital as my husband, and he's a diabetic pretty bad, where they had to cut his toes off and stuff. So, and he was also on insulin. But I was telling him about what was going on with my mom, and he said, let me try a box of that. So he would take like 6 a day. He said one day when he came in, they did not have to give him his insulin. The amount of hemoglobin he took. He did about 6, and they didn't have to give him his insulin. So he definitely is for the herbs as well. And just want to let everybody know that the herbs I'm anemic. When I take the herbs, I'm not anemic. So it pretty much brings the body back to good health. And that's it. Somebody else. The herbs are excellent. One more thing. If I didn't say it before, I just want to make sure I say it again. The herbs are 100% non-toxic, no side effects. It cannot hurt you. Blood pressure may go up, but not to worry, it'll come back down. My mom's a perfect example because she had a major stroke, and she had not had a stroke since she's been on these herbs.
Praise God. That's wonderful. Praise God.
Yeah. Wow. It's amazing. My name is Kimberly. I'm a Korean, but I have a name in American is Kimberly. And all these ladies that I introduced the product that for me that I experienced of my own health. I was working for overnight for 8 years, and we all know if you don't sleep at night, your body doesn't reorganize. In the meantime, I was eating middle of the night because I had to work. So I basically destroyed my body over the 8 years. And one day, somehow I couldn't walk because my left leg is just got, how do you say?
Stiff? Swollen?
Yeah, it just goes
Stiff.
stiff, and then I couldn't bend. I couldn't.
Right.
I couldn't do anything. That was about 2 weeks. I was not be able to walking, and it was scary. I was only 50 at the time, and whole my family also looking at me like, what do we do? So there's a time that someone introduced me over this product called the Hemohim. And they told me I only need to take a 2 per day. So I took a 2 per day only. And then about 2 months after, I'll be able to bend my knee. I still not walking like when I was 18, but my goodness, that was a miracle. I'll be able to walk again. And then I started to looking into what is this? What is this? And then I understood that this product is known as in our body that develops immune system. People who have an allergy is also known as the immune low, and then you can get all kinds of sickness. You get a catch cold and inflammation. In your body of the inflammation is all the pain comes out. And what happened my knee when I couldn't walk? I tried to go to sleep. I couldn't go to sleep because it was so hurt. And then even though I fall asleep, and then I woke up because of the pain. And 2 months later, I was just sleeping like a baby. I couldn't believe it. And so, from then on, I just took a 2 every day until I met the Sherry. She experimented of her mother. Increased the whole doses. So I did myself also. When I take a 4, I feel so good. I cannot sit down because they're putting out all the energy, and I feel like I have to walk out the door and do something, you know. And then when I do the 6, I'm not tired. I'm not tired at all. I'm like 18 for real. And this is beautiful. This is beautiful. Everyone look for, you know, you need help for your self-energy. You should try it. You should try it. So my case, allergy, my knee problem, and my daughter also allergies, and my goodness, this little girl, 15 years old, she's studying so hard, and she stay up to like 11:30 at night. And I make sure that she take 1 or 2 before she go to sleep. The next morning, 6 o'clock, before alarm goes off, and she wake up by herself. Wow. This is beautiful. Mm-hmm. And I am very, very happy about it. I have so much more to tell you, but I'm going to turn to the next person. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Roxanne, and I am a 6-year breast cancer survivor, praise God. When I first was faced with cancer, I I welled up in fear because I didn't know what tomorrow would bring. But then I pulled myself together. I put my face to the wall and I said, okay, God, it's you and me. You know, wherever you're taking me to, I will follow. So I went through the chemo and everything, and it was a tough journey, but I made it through, praise God. And after I got past everything, I say about the 5th year, I was sitting at a diner having breakfast, and all of a sudden, I got something in my eye, and I wasn't sure, but I'm rubbing my eye. I put eye drops for dryness and that type of stuff, and it wouldn't go away. So by the next morning, I called my eye doctor, and I was like, I don't know what's going on. Long story short, my retina was separating, and I had to have emergency laser surgery. And I think it's due to when you have chemo, years down the line, different things start happening to your body. So I prayed about it, and I was like, Father, I don't want to be on any kind of medication. I just want a natural remedy. Something to keep me balanced where I'm not faced with cancer again. And I, changed my eating, and I wanted to do very well as far as just taking care of myself and keeping good health. So I prayed about it, and one day I was at the laundromat doing laundry, and I ran into Sherry. And she came to me, and she started telling me about the products, and she started telling me about the Hemohem. And the minute she started telling me about it, I said, okay, that's it. That's my answer. God sent you. He's answering my prayers. Because when you pray about something, you better believe that God is going to send someone. So don't miss out on your blessing. When God sends you someone, take heed. Don't doubt it. Just go for it. So I started taking the Hemohem. It builds the immune system, and it balances the white blood cells and the red blood cells. So when I go to my oncologist, he said, wow, you're doing great. I'm on this Hemohem for the rest of my life. It's a life change. And I totally have seen good things out of it. Definitely hair growth. I'm strong, and the cancer has not came back in my body. And I know that this Hemohem works. So give it a try, because you will see for yourself that it works, and I believe in it. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Pat, and I was introduced to Hemohem about 5 months ago by June. And it has done wonders for me in my body. It has turned my hair black again. At my age, that's a miracle. It has taken the fleshy moles off my face. I'm beautiful again. And the circulation in my legs and my feet is much better. Also, I wasn't going to say this, but I am. It's put a spark in my marriage of 48 years. I feel a little frisky now. And I told my husband, watch out. So I said, Hemohem is the best thing since sliced bread. So I love the product, and I hope to take it for the rest of my life. God bless you. Oh, my dental appointments were much better this time. And I have a friend that I grew up with in West Virginia, good old West Virginia. And he had cancer, stage 4. We introduced him to HemoHim, and he's cancer-free now. So God works miracles through products. So thank you very much.
Testimonies, every time I hear it, I just get more and more, excited, and it's just a blessing. My name is Dr. Antoinette Bush. Antoinette. I'm a veterinarian. I'm a mobile practitioner. I go to people's homes. So I know I want to bring a different mode of therapy for the pets, because people are looking sometimes for a more natural way of dealing with various conditions. And so I've been having such exciting results, and I was introduced and started using the HemoHim products back in July. So I have one patient, mixed pug, about 13, probably going on 14 years old now, and has 2 huge growths. And I have clients that oftentimes do not want to use the traditional chemotherapy, but they want to do something. And so it appears like lipomas, but I can't really say that without actually doing a biopsy. But 2 large growths in both thighs. And I had been trying some other modalities for a while, and things, improved, but not fast enough. So I started praying. I said, Lord, there's got to be another product that I can use that's a little more natural. And then coming in contact with the testimony of Sherry and introduced to Kim, I was like, this is it. And it's such a blessing to have clients that are willing to try other alternative therapies. And so I just went to the home about maybe 3 weeks ago, and the HemoHim already started shrinking. But when I went there about 3 weeks ago, significant improvement with one particular tumor, about a 2-inch decrease in both directions, length and width, the entire circumference, of the growth. And then in the other limb, at least about 1.5 inches. And the dog is walking better, has more energy. It's just amazing. Had another situation where the dog, for about a month, this was again back in July. So from Father's Day until about July, the dog had extreme neck stiffness. Couldn't. Every time he would move, he would just cry out in pain. And so I said, well, we live in an era where Lyme disease is really prevalent. And so I said, well, let's just, test again. Because it was already from a previous diagnosis from, another physician in terms of using it. Was on prednisone, and it was on other high painkillers. I said, well, you know what, let's just, test for Lyme disease. So it was negative for Lyme, but it was positive for Ehrlichia, which is another tick-borne disease. And so I really didn't want to continue with the prednisone, with the steroids. And I said, well, let's do the traditional, because sometimes we definitely need those traditional antibiotic therapy. I said, let's also try the HemoHim. In 3 days, because I knew the antibiotic therapy is going to take a little bit, but in 3 days, I get a text from the owner said, oh my God, he's turning his neck, he's playing with his toys, he's like a contortionist here. So, and he's doing well to this day. So I'm really excited about the immune response that HemoHim does. It's such a blessing. I even use it and seen definite improvement with the cyst around my eyes, and it's a blessing. It's a blessing. Why not try something that has been brought up from the ground and brought up to actually give cleansing, give immune, because we have a purpose. Right. If we are here on this planet, we all, whether it's animals, whether it's plants, whether it's humans, There is a purpose. And our purpose is to be able to see what God has given us, and that we have so much to accomplish, and we are supposed to live a purposeful life. So, just thank you for the opportunity. Try it.
I guess I'm the last.
You're the last one.
Well, I guess I heard so many testimonies about him. My name is Roberta, and mine is more about cosmetics and the toothpaste. First, with the cosmetics is for me. I'm extremely sensitive skin, so I can't really try anything out there. Even though it might say the label sensitive skin, I still get that problem. I'll get the big rash. Until one time I met this girl, which she met Kim as well, and she told me, why don't you try this six skin care system?
Yeah.
She said, try that out for now and give it at least a month just to make sure that it's working. That's how I'm like, okay, I've tried everything, might as well try something. It's not that expensive as other times I paid before. And I tried it. After a month, I started to notice the difference. How my skin, it felt like it was alive instead of like it was like dry or like patches all over it. So I noticed, I fell in love with that. And I told her, I'm like, is this the only product that you actually use from this company? Because I told her, I'm like, I would like to know more about it. And she told me, oh no, there's a website. And I told her, I'm like, well, I would like to know more about it. Give me the information. I ended up looking at it and I said, oh wow. I saw the Him. I started reading it. I love to read all the products before I use something. And when I saw everything was natural, and I said, oh, this is my stuff, because I love all natural remedies.
Yes.
Anything that's good for your skin, and especially natural product,
Yes.
it won't harm your skin. And I said, okay. So I was stuck with that for a while, and then all of a sudden my son went to his dentist for the orthodontist visit. They removed his braces. After they removed it, the orthodontist told me, you know what, we have to do surgery on your son. So what do you mean? I thought this was just like a 6-month procedure. She said, unfortunately, the braces were too tight. His gums got infected. And then his gums, they got infected, like swollen, and it wasn't that nice pinkish color that you would normally have. It was more like that dark burgundy red. So it was so swollen, and then I told him, well, how can we do this? I mean, he's so young, he's only 8 years old. I mean, I don't want to do any surgery on him, especially at that age. She's like, well, we have to kind of like cut his gums out, drain it out, then start. And I told him, well, how is he going to eat? He needs to eat. And she's like, well, we're going to give him some medicine. I was like, but first of all, okay, budget-wise, I'm sorry, but as a single parent, you have to go everything by budget. And she goes, well, it's going to be quite pricey. I'm like, let me call my insurance first. I'll call you right back. I think we can do other ways, other situations we've solved before, so why can't we do this? She's like, okay, I'll give you 1 month. If you come back within 1 month and his gums are not swollen anymore, we won't do the surgery. So here I am running to this girl, and I'm like, how can I do this? And she said, well, you look so worried. And I'm like, well, I am worried because they gave me 1 month just to make sure that my son, he doesn't have surgery. And she said, well, what are you talking about? I'm like, well, his gums are swollen. I took a picture and I showed her. She's like, oh my God. She's like, I gotta call Kim. And so I'm like, why? She's like, well, try the toothpaste. And I'm like, toothpaste? What would that do? I'm like, they're just gonna clean his teeth. She's like, no. This is not any type of toothpaste. And then I'm like, I would like to know more about it. She's like, hold on, I'll tell Kim to call you so you'll know more about the information. It's okay. Kim calls me and I tell him, like, help me, please. I really need to know how is this gonna work, because it's a toothpaste, not a toothpaste you hear there's something that's gonna take it away. So she tells me, well, use it for a month, with the toothbrush, make sure he brushes it at least 2 minutes. I didn't do 2 minutes, I tell him 2 to 4 minutes. I did the 2 minutes at first, he did it himself, and then the other 2 minutes, I did it with him. And we kept doing it, and I said, oh, please, God, help me out with this, because it's a child. And he goes, my son, he said, Mommy, this tastes weird. And I said, what do you mean it tastes weird? It's beautiful, it's fine, don't worry. It's not spicy like the other stuff. He said, no. It tastes sweet like honey. And I said, it is. You see the bee? You see the bumblebee? So I'm trying to make it look fun for him to get used to it because he was used to it with the other types of brands, but it wasn't helping him. So when we did that, and my daughter, she said, well, if you guys are having so much fun in the bathroom, why you don't share it with me? And I told him, well, come, let's do the party in the bathroom. And then after that, we kept doing it. It came that 1 month, and I said, oh, God, help me. Hopefully everything looks fine. I mean, for me, I'm not the specialist, but I saw there was no redness, no nothing, so I'm thinking it's going to be okay. We sit there, and I'm like there praying, God, you're taking care of this, because I'm not doing this.
Yeah.
And we waited. The orthodontist sits down, she's like, all right, Matthew, let's take a look. How did it go? My son, he goes, you're not going to do surgery on me because I did my homework. Like my mom told me.
Praise God. Praise God.
And then the doctor said, let's just take a look. You know, I want to make sure everything's okay. She keeps checking and checking. She's like, wow, you're right. And she talks to my son, the orthodontist talking to my son, you're right, Matthew, I don't need to do surgery on you. And my son, he's laughing. He's like, you see, I told you so. My mom did her homework. And thank God for my toothpaste now, because I won't leave that for nothing else. And that's the first thing that now my son looks for. Mom, we're running out of the toothpaste. Can you please order the toothpaste?
Wow.
And my children now, they remind me what they need.
Oh, God.
My daughter is her probiotics with her vitamin C. My son is the toothpaste with the toothbrush, and then the shampoo and all Atomy products. So far, I've been using in my house. I don't use any other brand because I noticed the big difference, such as myself and my children.
Right. Yeah.
So for me, I will definitely recommend it as a parent, as a friend, in any way or form. You should try every product. Don't just stay with one.
Right.
It's good to try all of them, and you'll see how it makes a big change in your life. Just as much for me, and healthy-wise as well. And you know, I just really hope that it helps this to others. And if any questions, we're all here to help each other.
Yes, true.
And I thank you for everything. I'm so happy.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So we want to thank you all for your time, for listening. We hope and we pray and we know that these testimonies will move you to action, that they are authentic, and that there will be an answer to prayer for many people. So God bless you, and we just want to say take care and God bless you. Everybody,
Thank you.
Take care.
Thank you.
Take care.
Thank you. God bless.